Harmony.
Hello.
Harmony is one of our Transform to Raw yoga teacher training graduates, and she's with us here today to give us a little bit of an idea of her experience before, during and after the training. So Harmony, what was life like before training with the Ahimsa Yoga Ashram?
Before the training, I remember I did yoga about 4 different times, literally of a period about 6 years, and I didn't really get it. I remember I even bought a book, an Iyengar book that had a bunch of pictures in it, a bunch of sequences in it, and I would copy the pictures. And then I remember, after I did a sequence of about 7 or 8 postures, I would just be like, okay, done. And I didn't really know what I did or why I did it.
So once you came here and did the prerequisite training, which was for you the 3-week retreat, what changed for you during the retreat?
I remember one of the first day, how you said that the first class was going to be standing. And my immediate response was, I know how to stand. And being in that class, it was probably the most profound for me. The way that you approached it and the way that you taught, we stood, one of us at a time, stood in front of the class, and you had the other people in the class say what energy they got off of us, or just what feelings they got from us by the way we stand. And I can remember exactly how I stood, completely off balance, all twisted, and my hips sticking out to the side. And I remember the comments that people made, what they received, what they felt from the way I was standing. And I remember when you then went to tweak my posture and put it into this beautifully aligned posture, I burst into tears, because for me it was so profound about how I had been standing and how or what people had been feeling or thinking about the way I presented myself. And that was just the first class. That's what blew my mind the most. I then was able to use all the principles that you taught, because you didn't just teach a class. We didn't just have a class every day. You taught us the principles. You taught us anatomically how to feel into our body, how to experience our body, how to just be in our body. And I could use that through any single posture that I wanted. And through that 3 weeks, you really transformed the way I thought, the way I felt, the way I practiced myself. During the teacher training, we learned a bunch of different things. We learned about meditation. We learned about timing. We learned about philosophy, weaving in philosophy. We learned about giving variations. We were asked to state why something, if we said anything, bending forward, do this, do that. One of the things was to say why we were doing it. And all of that, separately is awesome. Putting it all together and then having lots of practice doing it over and over and over again. I must say, during the teacher training, it was a bit tedious, a bit frustrating, yet after the fact, when I'm, jumped straight into this yoga teacher job, I realized how valuable it was, that constant practice, literally, teaching every day and teaching different postures and trying it over again and recording us. By the time I actually left, I had taught so many classes, so many postures. I had learned so many different meditations, and it really is that practice. I could feel your passion in the teaching. I could hear you in my head, the different things that I learned. You didn't just give us 2 months. You didn't just open up the ashram to this teacher training. You gave me a lifestyle that I can take anywhere. My own practice flourished. The way I stood flourished. The way I approached any situation transformed, because what I learned and what I experienced from practice, repetition, living with people in this way.
So now that you are this teacher, what's it like for you teaching?
Well, as you know, I literally left the yoga teacher training and jumped straight into a teaching job.
Every day, no less?
Every single day. The day I arrived as well. I was so eager to show what I learned. So eager to become this yoga teacher. It's not what I had been all my life. So to take on this whole new role as a yoga teacher. And it was fantastic. I understood how to get them into a meditation. I weaved in philosophy, I weaved in love and patience and be in this moment. And it was fantastic. And I remember the day sitting on the yoga platform, and I think 3 people asked me a question in the class. I realized it was like the light went on, and I smiled to myself because I could answer every single question. I knew why it hurt when they bent a certain way. I was able to respond with such peacefulness, such happiness, and this joy inside of me, knowing that I could answer their questions of what I had learned literally from a 2-month course.
So what kind of a reaction have you gotten from people when you were teaching?
Honestly, 100% positive. 100%. I had people come to me at the end of the class and tell me that they've had pain for weeks, and after doing a bunch of classes, they hadn't had pain anymore.
Oh, that's great.
I had people telling me that, wow, you really know what you're talking about. And to me, that was gold. After the class, receiving this acknowledgement from people that were in the class and just said that it was beautiful. My talking voice was beautiful. That was one thing that I really had to work on, me personally. And that was something that I was frustrated with during the teacher training, was creating this, creating myself, finding myself as a yoga teacher and my voice as a yoga teacher, where before I was very directive, a bit forceful. And so with all the training and the practicing over and over and over again, becoming this yoga teacher and having people tell me that it was beautiful. I learned so much, and that they would come over and over and over again their entire time, which is fantastic.
Do you feel that you left here a teacher ready to take on any class giving to you out there in this world?
Easiest question to answer. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. I had no fear whatsoever. I jumped into my first class.